Geez, where's the best place to start a story, I guess? The start. Before coming up to Haida Gwaii, I had lived down in Chile for a while, doing an interesting job down there in Santiago, and then every weekend I would just get on the bus, and you have two choices, north or south from Santiago, pretty much. Went to this one beach where families would go and picnic during the day, but I set up my tent and I had my surfboard, and it was just these amazing breaks coming in, and very few people. The local kids would boogie board, but no surfers, so I was like the only surfer out there, and surfing these like great waves right in this, like there's a reef covered with urchins, and then you get out, and then these beautiful barreling waves coming in and closing into the bay. And one day I surfed all day and then came in right at sunset, and this full moon was out, and it was like there's enough light, and I was like, why did I stop surfing? There's tons of light to go surfing out there. So the next day, the sun's going down, the waves are just getting really, really beautiful at this point, and I was like, I'm not gonna go in, I'm gonna stay out here, and that moon's gonna come up, because it came up just at the moment that the sun went down. The moon popped up, and I was just like, I'm just gonna stay out here, and I gotta surf under the full moon. And so I waited and waited, and the sun went down, and it got darker and darker and darker and darker, and then it was pitch black, and the moon never did come up. And I was like, fucked, because like there's just waves, like huge barreling waves crashing all around me, and all I could do was paddle out past the break and just be like, try to like hold it like off the reef, and I'm like, I'm dead, man. Like a big wave's just gonna rock me right onto that reef. Cheers, since we're drinking beers. And so I was like out there, and I was like, fuck, I've got to get back to the beach. So I went into like the middle of the bay, kind of like where the last part of the break was, and I was trying to figure out where that was, and I was trying to get back, and I could like sort of like, I couldn't see anything. I thought I saw something, and then for sure I saw something. It was like a red light. It was like a dot, this intense red dot on the beach somewhere, and I was like, I don't know what it is, but that's the beach. I've got to make it in there. So I like just focused in this pitch black with waves crashing, and I would wait for a big wave to pass and then try to like paddle as fast as I could behind it. As I was paddling, suddenly this huge set wave came and picked me up, and I was like right on the face, and there's like red light is still like blinking and like shining, and it's like totally for me, and I'm like, someone's trying to get me in using like a laser pointer or something. And so I start paddling, and then I drop in on this wave, and I just like jump up, and it was like the best wave of the day, but I couldn't see a thing, and I'm like sailing along into this, like as it's about to close out in the middle of the bay. And at the last second I heard a scream, and there's this guy on a boogie board coming towards me from the other break. He was coming from the right, and I was going down the left, and we almost collided in these dark kind of like shapes, and we saw each other. We both screamed and fell off into the white water and got washed in, and kept following this dot, and finally we dragged ourselves up on the beach, and his buddy's there with his like little laser keychain freaking out, and he did this exact same thing as me. He's like, the moon was supposed to come out, it came out yesterday. And I was like, where's the frickin' moon? And then an hour later, this moon came up, and now I realize that the moon actually comes up an hour later every day, in case you know. Anyway, when I came up to Haida Gwaii with my buddies, I was like, I think I was telling the tale to those guys, the surf guys I was hanging out with, and then they were like, oh, well, you know, like, fuck, it is like really bright out, like when the moon is, like, we should just go surfing at night. And I was like, that sounds dangerous and fun. And so we went out, and it was awesome. It was just totally awesome. The light's different, but you can totally see everything, and we had a great time. And we surfed by the full moon, and then from then on we made like a club. We called it the North Beach Night Surfing Association, the NBNSA. And it was a code. We'd only call it the NBNSA. We'd never tell anyone what it was, so I'm sorry, I'm breaking the rule, but that was some time ago. And we had shirts made up and bumper stickers for the truck, and that just said NBNSA and nothing else. And people would be like, what's NBNSA? I'm like, afraid I can't tell you. And people would get so mad. They're like, oh, you tell me, just don't even. And like, nope, you only find out when you're in the club. And then we'd go out and surf. We had like so much fun out there surfing those like nights for years. And then, well, someone did one up on us, and they came out and surfed naked at night. So they were the Naked North Beach Night Surfing Association. So they created their own group, but there was just the one. So anyway, that was cool. And yeah, we surfed out on Rose Spit and stuff when like the full moon rises like right over the spit when you're in the water and you can actually see the moon come out. It's really amazing out there. The Rose Spit's a great spot. So we went out one day, pardon me, and I just need a drink. And Barrett, he gets his board and he races out there and he jumps right in and goes right out and catches an amazing right, and then paddles out again, and he's like sizing up this other set and he's sort of paddling, and we're on the beach. We're like, oh shit. And all these sea lions start cruising along the beach, and there's one monster bull, like a 2,000 kilogram, like monster stellar sea lion, alpha male bull, he just is cruising up, and he like comes right up, and he's behind Barrett, and Barrett doesn't even see him. We're on the beach, we're like, dude, like, no. And he's going along, and he looks over his shoulder, and this huge like bull is just like an arm's length away, and it's surfing in the wave with its head right out, staring right at him, like almost ready to bite his head off, or just checking him out. I don't know, maybe he's giving him a high five, who knows. And he like surfed the whole wave with this massive bull, and I don't know if he was trying to like escape it or just like, oh, I'm just going this way. And the thing came in right up to the beach, and he just jumped out, and we ran up. We're like, we'll wait for those guys to pass and keep going. So I don't know. That was a good one. I quite enjoyed surfing with sea lions.
Welcome to the world of showbiz arrangement with lights, camera, action!